Hi, I'm Sarah from SEWNZ. Today you've popped over and you're having a look at how to make the Bandit Pants. It's a cute little drop crutch for newborns to 2-year-olds, and a little sample, cute little pockets, possibly not really usable but they could tuck something in here. No centre seam at the front or the back, and we've got a little cuff made in cream with black thread so you can see how they go, how to make them. Let's get started. This is the master pattern for the Lil Bandit Pants, hard copy, and I've cut out a size 12 in the violin. Right, pattern's been cut out in cotton elastane. Front and back are on a fold, waistband is on a fold, markings on the pocket especially for the pocket opening. We're going to sew the pocket opening. I've drawn it in ballpoint pen so it's quite obvious. Normally you do it with chalk, and I've pinned the top and the bottom of that pocket to the front legging just to keep it stable. I used a straight stitch to do this seam. Very small stitches so I'll be able to do those nice corners. Trim it back quite finely and clip into the corners, turn it inside out and press it. Once it's pressed, top stitch it with straight stitch. I've folded the pocket in half, right sides facing to the marking, pinned the bottom, and I'm going to sew it with zigzag. Pocket is pinned to the front waistband and the side seams. I'm going to stay stitch it in place. We're all pinned up ready to sew. We're going to sew from the waistband down to the foot with zigzag stitch. Now we've pinned to do the inner leg seam. I've just clipped in about ½ centimetre to ease as I sew round the crutch. Inner seam is sewn and I have clipped at the crutch so that when worn they can stretch and move around. Pressing the side seams, I've put it on the trusty tailoring sausage. There's a video on how to make one for yourself out of a cardboard roll and a tea towel, and we're pressing it towards the back. Inner seam. We're going to press that towards the back. It's winter here in New Zealand and it's too cold to sew out in my sewing room, so I'm inside, and because I'm inside I don't have my tailoring ham, but what I do have is my little wheat bag, which is kind of a little bit more manipulative, and I'm going to use it because it can actually cope with the heat from an iron to press that crutch towards the back. Waistband. Time to sew the waistband. We've folded it with right sides together and we're sewing zigzag down that short seam. Right, I've measured my elastic. If you don't have the child to measure the elastic around, have a look at the size chart. So for example, this is the size 12 months, it's 50 centimetres, and I find a body part that's 50 centimetres and I make it fit comfortably, not too snugly for a little one. And overlapped the elastic 2 centimetres and we're going to sew it with zigzag. So the elastic is sewn and we're putting it on the wrong side of the waistband and we're folding the waistband over and we're going to pin it down. So I've quarterized the waistband of the pants, which means put it into 4 places, 4 evenly places, centre front, centre back and the centre side, not necessarily the side seam. And I've also quarterized the waistband, and what I'm going to do is match those 4 pins from the waistband to the centre front, etc. So the waistband's attached to the pants, and as you can see there's a bit of a gap, and that's going to have to be stretched into place, but it's evenly spaced all the way around the waistband rather than in one place. The waistband's attached, not too much gathering showing. And now what we're going to do is make sure that the waistband elastic doesn't turn. So we've got 2 options. You can run along here where the pins are with a running stitch, or what I like to use, and I use it for my own clothes, is I will sew down the centre back. That will stop the whole thing twisting. And if I want to sew the sides, I just make sure it's all evened out before I do my sewing. So I've sewn just the elastic, just a few stitches, and reversed. In the seam you can hardly see it, and on the other side, means that elastic's not going to twist. We're ironing the seam allowance to the waist, except some of the fabric's got a little mind of its own. Pressing, might be on a bit of a high, pressing down towards the body of the pants. Just the cuffs to go, so we've folded them right sides together, pinned the short edge, and we're going to sew that with zigzag. Right, one cuff folded over, wrong sides together, quarterized, pretty tiny, and the leg quarterized starting at the inner seam, and we're going to match those up. So this is the cuff pinned to the legging, and what we need to do is where you've got two lots of seam allowances, the cuff needs to be, that seam allowance needs to be going towards the front, while that side seam or inner seam is going towards the back. There is less bulk when sewing it. Just managed to get the cuff onto the tailoring sausage, and we are pressing it up towards the body. So little. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Help you to make the pants. If you want to buy the pattern, the PDF version, add a link down below to the Etsy shop or the Facebook or the website. If you want a hard copy, just email. Have a good day and happy sewing.